Zekvir specifically has been nerfed into Oblivion. On tier question mark. On tier 2 question marks, he's now doable, which is good down from undoable, which is wonderful. Most of that comes down to the web tear hatch time being increased substantially. It's now 20 seconds.
So more time to destroy 15. The egg so the egg doesn't hatch into a big spider problem.
Fuck you horribly, yes. So Zekvir,
well, there's no monetization on that clip.
No whatsoever. You can blink it, it's fine. Zekvir's damage and health been reduced. Yeah, so damage-wise, the white damage is now substantially more dealable with. If Bran's a healer, you can just out-heal the damage, mostly without even standing on potions because of passive stuff.
Wow.
Because Zekvir doesn't auto-attack you that much. He only auto-attacks you when he's not casting any of his 40,000 mechanics.
He's a man of purpose.
Yeah, so you can survive those. The web tears now spawn randomly in the room. That's a weird change. It is kind of... it's kind of affixed to the fact that the web tear could... If you were smart enough in positioning, you could pull them into the corridor. It's dangerous to do so. Or it was dangerous because of his circle fear and stuff. But you could pull him into the corridor and spawn the web right beside him for cleave. Or you could spawn him... You could have him spawn at one corner of the room and then go to the other side, and the web tear would not be in aggro range. It would despawn instead of spawning, which is very helpful, believe it or not. But that's now fixed, so it's properly random. And then his recast times now change for the interrupts so that you can do that better. It's weird to me. I didn't really notice this too much on Bimkin. But that's also because I didn't need to interrupt the spittle because you can shapeshift out of it. So it's perfectly doable on that front. As to where that makes it doable on the likes of, say, Shaman has a 12-second interrupt, but it doesn't have any way to deal with spittle.
Yeah,
which means you do have to interrupt both. I don't know if that's possible, and I don't know if the 30-second talented silence with a Shadow Priest or the 24-second silence on Warlock is enough to that, or whatever it is on Hunter. I'm not sure if that's entirely there. There's a small element of I hope so, maybe. So the question of if tier 2 is doable on those is still sort of up in the air because I don't have the geared characters to try. I know I'm actually... Taliesin posted his Void Dirigible on Twitter, and he's a priest. So maybe it was doable as Disc or Shadow. I'm not actually sure. But so that's fixed. So it's substantially more easy to actually do the actual fight mechanics. And the web tear is been reduced to some... No, the anglers have been reduced so it doesn't one-shot you. Claw Smash looks a bit better. And something's been fixed. Basically, what this means is the fight is now doable. The fight is now very, very easy. You can kill it in with a 6'10" character, full burst. You can kill him in 90 seconds, if not less.
Now, whenever we kill Zekvir on tier 1,
yes,
which we can now do in barely any time, what do we get?
You get the completion of a tier 8 delve. Not a bountiful delve, but for your Great Vault, that counts as a tier 8 delve, which means you can do the Zekvir 8 times in about 15 minutes. And be done, as opposed to doing delves that take 5 or 6 minutes that are tier 8, because I think Zekvir on tier 8 is way easier than other delves on tier 8, honestly.
Damn.
In terms of the amount of damage you have to do, the amount of distance you have to go, it's just there. Because he only has 80 million health now.
Yeah.
So you just spam him for your tier 8 delves, for your Grid Vault.
It's basically
for
you know those rares that you find in the world, the bigger rares. Can you solo a big rare? Asterix Brand's there to heal you. And that means you can get, if you want to get 500 Valor Stones, just kill Zekvir 20 times.
Because you get 25 Valor Stones per kill as well. You get a...
Can't recommend that for fun.
Yeah.
To be clear.
I like it, but I'm a weirdo.
I can understand the flow state.
Yeah, there's a chance of 2 ruined crests as well. So you can farm those out fairly well if you still need them, which I think most people still do. Because I still need hundreds, and I'm not even capped yet. Okay, so Goose says it does work actually based on your CD, so it's doable. Interesting.
Cool.
Shadow Priest says that. Okay, so it does work. That's excellent. That's fantastic. That means that now tier 1 is farmable and tier 2 is easy. You see, Frankenberry, tank ult 8 minutes. Just go DPS. If you're at all comfortable with your DPS spec, even if you're not comfortable with it, if you learn to be comfortable with it, it's worth it. Because I noticed that as well. On a 559 Prot Warrior, took me around 8 minutes. I swapped to Fury with auction house bought green like weapons and just hammered my keys at him, and he died in 4 minutes. Healer also takes a while as well. It's a bit kind of weird that it's literally just better on DPS, but that's how the game works. So
yeah. Look, that's, I mean,
yeah,
it's a weird problem.
Oh, you can fade off Spittle.
It's a weird problem to solve for, because
Spittle could fade.
I mean, completely equalizing a tank or a healer, to the speed of a DPS does feel a bit goalpost moving.
Yeah, it does. It very much does.
But you also don't want it to be bad.
Yeah.
But then there's always going to technically be an optimal way, which will be the fastest way. So
I forgot about Phantasm.
It somewhat comes with the territory.
Thank you, Thackus. It does nerf his health as a healer. He has 60 mil down from 80 mil, which means if you're in like a full DPS spec healer, like a Wild Stalker Resto Druid, in like who spends the entire fight in cat form, basically, you can do it in similar enough time, but then it's just easier to it's just easier to play the DPS realistically. At least I find that, like Boomkin, I just smash buttons and it just goes down okay in my Resto gear. I haven't done any other healers, but like my Prot Warrior tank was just, I had such a bad time doing this Prot, and it's like, just Fury is just easier because the damage scales and everything. So it's literally just easier to do that in a bunch of ways. So Zekvir 1 is now farmable for that, for Village. You could also get the cosmetics, so like the cobalt candles, the Nerubian back pieces, the bags. I got the purple Order of Night like colored backpack, and then the mint flavored candle, which is like a green candle, which
Lovely.
Doesn't look like the minty green. It's like a darker green. It's kind of weird, but so you can farm that stuff out there way handier, and it's on alts is easy enough too, because like it takes like a minute 30 on my 613 DK, but it only takes 4 or 5 minutes on my 560 characters, which is basically every time I get a level 80, I spend 10k in the auction house to put a full set of 560-ish like BOE gear on them, and then I go and kill Zekvir twice, and then it takes me 10 minutes, and then I get a 616 beast in my next full.
Crispy.
It's really quite silly. It's not where, like, obviously you don't get gear and like the bountiful stuff, but it is still like handy for that if you're like low on time.
It's good bang for your buck, and if you just want to max out your delve track, it's good for that too. So
it makes the tier 2 version easier as well, substantially.
Well, doable.
Yeah, doable now. He's like, it's still a fight that takes me a couple of attempts to do every time I try to get like footage over something. It does actually, like, it is pretty tight. But we do have a guide coming up on that from me killing him so many times. I think I've spent more time in Zekvir's lair than anywhere else's expansion so far. It's been really kind of silly, just trying to kill it, like, because I don't want to turn around and say, you can do it on a healer without having done it. So I like went and did it on a Resto Druid. It's like, that fucking sucked. Went Boomkin, that died easy. Did it on like the 535 Red Pala.
Yes.
Had to hold CDs for egg because I was that weak, but it just worked fine. So like you can just kind of do that for gearing alts very well, and for the Void Dirigible, I think the tier 2 fight is really good. There's still a couple of like small things that are annoying, but the things that are annoying are intentionally annoying. Like if you die, you fucking made a mistake.
Yeah, you didn't respect the mechanics. It's like Mage Tower and stuff.
Yeah, and not just didn't respect mechanics. Like, that was like you can get into bad situations, but you could mostly put yourself in bad situations. Like the amount of times I was trying to get a clean kill yesterday, just like so I can go, okay, well here's after the nerfs, I killed it on my Holy DK with like DBM and stuff like that to display it. And the amount of times I got into like complacency in the last 30% of the fight, sprinted away from him, not realizing he was about to claw smash, put myself in a bad situation and just died to a claw smash. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Or the one time I tried to greed past unending spines, got clipped by the corner of it, and it hit me for 14 million damage and killed me. I'm like, I should have respected it. It's my fault. I can't be mad.
It's always great that undoes it.